very first story, Accra's North Industrial Area on Tuesday witnessed one of the city's wildest ever daylight robberies in recent times, when at least 4 armed men attacked a motorbike dealership and fled with their booty amidst the barrage of gunfire. The robbers are said to have subsequently swapped cars 2 times after they left the scene of the robbery, accosting the owners at gunpoint. JoyNews' Mohammed Mahama was at the scene shortly after the incident and filed the following report of eyewitness accounts, including the staff of the dealership that was robbed.
It was around 9:30 a.m. when the armed men, posing as customers, entered the premises of the motorbike dealership, Royal Motors, in a black Toyota saloon car. A security guard, curious as to why they were attempting to enter the main yard rather than the sales office, ordered their vehicle out, only to be confronted by the armed men.
I was here, then a car came outside. I went out to find out what exactly do they want, and they said they are coming to make an inquiries about the motors. So I tell them that when you are coming to make an inquiry, they should park outside. So they parked the car at where this man has parked his car. So I came in because a gentleman brought in a waiver that I was about to book. So I was just recording the thing. By the time I realized, one of them with a gun hold me, pushed me to this place. Then he took me to this end.
They then moved on to the main administration in the office complex, shooting their way through the front door after it was bolted shut by the occupants.
I saw one man putting something on the face, pulling the security man to come inside the yard. So over then, I rushed and locked my main gate. And one of our manager, the marketing manager, I quickly shouted his name. Baba Lassan and Roberts are here. So they put a gun, a warning shot. So over there, I was scared. I quickly ran to his office and I went under his desk.
The workers tell JoyNews they suspect the attackers had information from an insider, as they appear to know their way about the premises, particularly where the CCTV console was kept.
They took the money, 8,000 Ghana, in my drawer. They went to my purse, they searched, they took everything. Now my bag is empty. My bag is empty. There's nothing there. So I suspect someone gave information out. Because the way they did, it's like personal attack. It's like a personal attack to me. Everything is gone.
One of the victims, the marketing manager, said he felt lucky to be alive, having come so close to being killed.
I was lying down here. They said, get up, get up, get up, get up. Then he shot it. Boom! And I said, my God. Praying hard. I'm telling you, like I died. They were shooting here. Look at the monitor. They condemn it. I'm telling you, the gunshot. It's only God. I thank God. Wallahi, it's a lie. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. That's what I can say. I've never seen something like that before. And I never expect this, so kind of thing will happen in this office. I don't know what is happening.
The robbers, after fleeing in the black Toyota saloon vehicle amidst firing of their guns, attacked another vehicle about 1 kilometer away from the scene when their getaway car got damaged. Mobile phone footage obtained by a bystander shows the robbers transferring their booty into the second vehicle after pulling out the driver at gunpoint.
So I say, who is this? So when I was about to cross, they asked me, do you want your life or you give us way? And I said, So in fact, I got scared. So when the 10 finished, they started shooting. Bah, 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 3 shots. I picked my phone to call police. I was shaking because I've not met such a thing before.
The getaway vehicle, which broke down, is now in police custody. JoyNews is learning the robbers seized another vehicle in a second carjacking several kilometers away at Ablekuma. Mohammed Mahamad's report for JoyNews.
Well, the Accra Regions Police, which moved in shortly after the breaking, has opened investigations into the incident. 3 vehicles, which were used at separate times of the robbery attack, have been impounded by the police, while a search is on for the armed men. Public Relations Officer of the Accra Regions Police, ASP Efiating, tells my colleague Komlan Adom, a driver of one of the occupants with the snatched vehicles is currently receiving treatment at the hospital.
There are several cases that we've had good information right on time, that we've been able to respond to scenes and battle with them. You know, we have them, a number of them.
You say that 3 of the vehicles are in your possession. How did you retrieve these vehicles without getting the people who were using the vehicles?
Yes, as I indicated, the first Toyota Corolla, that blue-black Toyota Corolla they used, you know, to enter the premise of the scene, that one was 2 number plated, which of course we strongly suspect that it might have been stolen from someone. They bumped into another wine vehicle, a VW vehicle, and when they bumped into that vehicle, I don't know whether they were facing some challenges, so they quickly had to just abandon it there, and also quickly cross another vehicle, and they shot the driver in the arm, and they were able to make away with that vehicle. They packed the booty into that ash vehicle and they sped off. Yes, so the blue one was abandoned. The one that they crashed into or they bumped into, that one was also there. We also got the driver. And then also the ash one too, we also have the driver also here that I have personally spoken to. And one where as well as the ash one that was abandoned somewhere at Anya, that we have all we are working on, because they do us a lot of help, you know, to be able to get to the end of these kind of issues.
You talk about the driver of the vehicle who was shot. Do we know where he is at the moment and what his condition is?
Actually, the last time I checked, he was receiving treatment at the hospital. He was actually driving someone. So it's the person that we have with us who was also giving us his statement. But I have not personally seen the driver. But when I found out, he was okay and he was receiving treatment.
There's been some concern also by some of the onlookers or witnesses around the place. They say the response you gave was a bit delayed to the extent that the people could stop over, change vehicles. Some of the money fell off the car. They had to gather the monies onto the next vehicle and still make away with it.
I beg to differ with that. Anyway, as I always say, we are all entitled to our opinion. But look, by the time the police even got to the scene, you know, these robbers had already escaped. And they had even gone with the phones of even the employees. So how were they even able to call the police on time? These are some of the challenges. But when it happens that way, it is always the police that bear the brunt. I won't deny it, or where we got to the scene. But let us also forget, before they were coming, they had planned that operation. And they knew what they were doing. It was until we got there to free them, they were still kept hostage.
All right, so we'll be analyzing the story in a bit, but right now we have on the line the Adams Bona. He's a security analyst, and he has been apparently following this story, and he has some very recent or an update on the information on this robbery for us. All right, we do not have Adam Bona available right now, but Ernest Menu, JoyNews' Ernest Menu went to the scene of the incident earlier to try and reenact or bring to you exactly how this whole thing played out.
So this place was under siege. We had some armed robbers attack the Royal Motors, and they deal in spare parts, especially of motorbikes, and they do other things as well. They also engage in servicing. They have a servicing center here, and just a while ago I saw as many as 20 motorists here who had come either to buy some spare parts or to engage their services, but a lot of them had to go very disappointed. In fact, some of them were just finding out that the shop had been attacked this morning, and I met a number of them. Let me speak to this gentleman here. He was here a while ago.
They come by my headlight for my motor. Why I can't say the shop is closed. Why I ask, they say they come attack them. The other of us can attack them. So
they come by what, spare parts?
they come buy my spare part for my motor. I want to change my motor for today.
Okay. If you here, they buy spare parts every
Why
day.
they buy my thing if I want to buy something? If the company why they can't buy the thing. If anything I need for my motor, if the company why they can't buy.
So this morning you never hear say they attack them.
I never even hear. Just right now, why I make up my mind so they can't buy the thing. When I come meet, they say the accident is.
And Gift, I must say that he's not the only one. Just a while ago, there were so many of them here, about 20, as I told you, who had to leave very disappointed. Afansa Obaha and
Oh, I'm a customers in Tayami Tabeto.
Intended Oba, especially.
Actually, I had but on the way, it is scene is happy.
Yeah, I just came there and the security man said that they won't work today, but our robbers come take them.
Okay.
So I say, okay, I hear, but tomorrow I will be back here.
So what exactly were you coming to do?
I have one bike here when they are repairing it. So I'm coming to check that they finish or...
Okay.
Yes.
And before then, you had not heard that this place had been attacked?
I didn't know anything about it. Yeah.
All right, so let's get back onto the line and get to speak with Adams Bona, security analyst. Thank you for making time to join us, Mr. Bona. Now, what do you know? What's the very latest you've been told about this robbery this morning? All right, Mr. Adams, when if you can...
Thank you very much, and good evening to your cherished viewers. Well, I've followed up on the outcome of this robbery, and goodness, delay.
Yes, Mr. Adams, when you were making the point earlier about the fact that,
And so basically what information I've picked up from reliable sources indicates that two suspects have been picked up, and they are currently in police custody, assisting with the investigation with regards to this morning's robbery.
All right, so we actually invited you as an analyst, but thank you for the information, and we'll be verifying that information in a bit.
That took place at the Royal Motors around there,
All right. So what do you make of this incident this morning? It appears to be one very brazen attack.
Definitely. When the news started breaking this morning, I monitored it live on your network. And what I did realize was this robbery, as it unfolded, looked more like internally orchestrated. It looked more like someone who gave information to the armed robbers to come in and rob, and so they actually knew what time a bullion van, because there was a bullion van on standby, there was some money, being counted, and so this looked more like some form of some drama which unfolded. And so, as far as I'm concerned, we are believing and praying that the police, as if they can, they would have to do more investigation into it and arrest all the perpetrators who were involved in this robbery.
Now, Mr. Adams Bona, we would be coming to you again in a bit. We do have some delay in the line to you, but we're going to correct that so we can get to speak with you a bit more. You're watching JoyNews Prime here on JoyNews on Multi TV. We're taking a break, but still to come, we'll be speaking with Mr. Adams Bona, security analyst, in a bit on a number of robbery incidents that have taken place. There's been in Oyibi, residents of Oyibi have been sharing their deals at the hands of robbers who go there not just to rob but to rape as well. And we would be getting some confirmation on the arrest of the two involved in the Royal Motors robbery earlier today. Stay tuned watching JoyNews Prime. Welcome back to JoyNews Prime, and we're staying with the crime that has been taking place here in Accra. It has been fire and brimstone since the beginning of 2018 for residents of the EB in Accra who speak of regular visits by armed robbers who not only come to rob but rape. 24 of the horrifying cases have been recorded in just 2 months. In one of the homes the armed men visited, they shot a 44-year-old man in the head and threw his body out of his compound. In a separate incident, a 67-year-old man was hit in the head with rocks until he bled and died 2 days later. Daughter of the deceased, who said she was stripped naked, was almost raped, but for the intervention of the leader of the gang. Maxwell Agbagba visited the community and now reports.
The banner of 67-year-old Stefano Kujo, who was murdered at his house on the 17th January when some armed robbers stormed his home. We are told that on that same night, the armed robbers went to 3 different houses here at Oyibi to rob them of their properties. I've been speaking to his daughter.
On 11:45, yes, we were just in the room, all lights were off, and my sister just saw a shadow passing by the window, and she told my mom. She peeped through the window and realized there were armed robbers at the compound. She told my mom there were armed robbers around with Max. Before she even said it, as in she completed, we heard my dad screaming outside. Not knowing, he went through the front door, that's the sitting room door, trying to sack the goods outside from the porch. And they asked him to, they silenced him because there was a gun on him, and marched him to the kitchen door where the poly tank is and started beating him. So actually I had to force and open. When I was opening, they were screaming, "Don't open, we will kill you." So I had to. And one person was like, "You this man today, we will kill you." That's what one person was saying. So I forced to open. And they were pulling it back not to open, but then I forced to open it, and I just knelt down, begging, pleading with them not to kill my dad. They started beating me, they slapped me, they pushed me inside actually, and started hitting my head on the fridge. So that was when the other 3 people also entered and told my mom to kneel down. They started moving from room to room, beating us and doing their own thing. They went room to room actually, but before they started searching room to room, one person outside was given the order. As they moved to the dining room, then they move. Moved to master bedroom, then they moved. So I realized it's like they were familiar, or people were familiar with where everything was. They took all our phones, and after breaking my dad's head with a stone and his legs,
head with a stone.
Yes, they took a stone, a big stone, and broke the head. So blood was just oozing out through the head and the ears. They broke the legs too, so he couldn't stand anymore. So after doing that, they came in to ask we should bring money. And they asked, where is the money? And actually, we went to withdraw money at the junction around 3 to 4 that way. So my sister just came out with the money, which was 1,200, and they said it wasn't enough. That's not the money. We should add more. So they were like, where is my mom? She should bring money. And she also entered, and she was able to raise 200. So we added the 200 to it. There were 50 cedis notes and new notes, 1 cedi notes. So they were like, how much is the money? But because we were scared, no one was able to answer. And they started kissing the money. They started making noise. Actually, they told me they stripped me naked. Yes. And one person was like, they should leave me. We on Juma. So that was how the whole thing went. But they were with arms, with metals and guns, and they were masked. And after the robbery, we realized, not knowing, they were shooting in the air, and they were like, we shouldn't come out. No one should come out. So I managed to lock everything again. And not knowing, there were some people at the back. So it's as if the whole house was surrounded. The guy too he said he wanted to rape me.
He also
said it.
naked.
He removed his shirt. wearing only that. So it was one person who told him to stop. Men we on Juma. Then and actually 2 people were speaking away. In fact, we feel like leaving the area. But it's possible we will leave after a year.
Okay. So sorry. So sorry, Paul. So sorry. Okay. This is another victim of the attacks here at Oyibi. He was attacked by some armed men on the 22nd January in his house. He was shot in the head and his body thrown out of the compound. Family members saw the body some hours after the attack. His brother has been narrating exactly what happened on that day.
But that night we couldn't close the garage. So we went to bed. So in the night we were sleeping before I heard my brother's wife's sister. She shouted. So I also came out from a security room. I was sleeping there with one of the guys who is staying in the house with us. So I just ran giddy then passed through the garage and entered the room. So when I reached, I saw my brother's wife's door was broken with stone, and my brother's own too was broken with stone. And I saw 2 men in the room. So the moment the man see me, he removed pistol on me and asked me to bring money. And I said I did not have any money. So he asked me again, I said I did not have. Then he walked on me, then put a gun on my chest and marched me to the hall. And asked me again, I said I did not have. So he asked me to kneel down in the hall and raise my hand. And so I also did, and then he went away, then continued searching my brother's room. So I was in the room before. I see my brothers with some of the guys pass through the kitchen. So they all came outside in the fence wall. So they were in the fence wall. So they were talking like my brother was begging them. But my brother, when he was begging to, they were not understanding him. So upon that, the guy that I was staying to, he also came out. He wanted to come and close the door because of I also come out. So he heard the voice. So he wanted to come and close. So people saw him in the room. So they went and then bring him to out. Then they beat him with this pickers.
They beat him with what?
Pickers.
Pickers?
Yeah. So
what?
Pickers.
Right, so there's a similar story at Oyarifa. What we heard was from Oyibi, but we're still going to be bringing a bit more on the robbery this morning, the robbery at Royal Motors at the industrial area here in Accra. And just by way of recap, what we're learning is that 2 of the suspects, or 2 suspects, have been picked up. We're yet to confirm that with the police, but we're learning that 2 suspects have been picked up. Now, here is what the area looks like where this robbery incident happened. So it turned out that Royal Motors, this is a Google Earth view of Royal Motors, where the incident happened. So right there on this street, thanks to Google Street View, this is where the incident happened. In a bit, we're going to be showing you Royal Motors, exactly where the incident happened. Now, it was at this point that they moved the first vehicle. So they moved their vehicle from this point and drove out of the area about a kilometer away from this spot where they call the Lava Junction. That was where they attacked the first vehicle, and they made away with what we're learning is another Toyota Saloon vehicle. So that's the Ashford at still at the North Industrial area. Then they got the second vehicle and made away with that one. But right now, I have the Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Eklu, and David Eklu, and he's going to be sharing with us, giving us, confirming that update we're learning. Thank you for making time to join us, Mr. Eklu. Now, what can you tell us? We're learning that there's been some arrest in the robbery at Royal Motors.
Yeah, Israel, I can confirm to you that 2 people have been arrested, and I assisting the police in investigations in respect of this morning's robbery at Royal Motors.
Can you share with us when these arrests were made?
They were made a few hours after the robbery was reported. So they are assisting us in investigation.
Do we know under which circumstances and where they were picked up?
It is too early yet to give further information, but for now, 2 people have been picked. And in addition to that, other arrests have also been made in respect of the Forest Bureau robberies that have been reported around the Spinters Road. Now, 9 people are currently in custody and also assisting us in respect of those Forest Bureau and the mobile money joint robberies.
Now, all these arrests you're talking about in relation to the attacks on the Forex Bureau, were all these arrests made today?
No, those arrests, those were earlier made within the week.
All right. Now, so let's stick with the arrest of the 2. Are these the people who were involved in the armed robbery this morning, or they're probably accomplices? They are being questioned to enable us to determine the extent of their involvement, but we strongly believe that they are connected to the robberies that have happened. Meanwhile, the others are also on the run, but we are aggressively pursuing them so that we can get them to face the rigors of the law. All right, now, can you quickly confirm for us again, when they left the scene of the robbery, which was at Royal Motors, we're told that they left with their vehicle and then they carjacked another vehicle. They attacked another vehicle and made away with that vehicle. And then there was a third vehicle, which was also, they abandoned that vehicle somewhere in Accra. Can you tell us where exactly? Yes, some items, including vehicles in connection with that robbery, have been intercepted, and they are currently with the police, and they are with vital tools in getting those who are behind it. So yes, some items have also been intercepted, and we are examining it to determine the connection, and they will also be very vital in getting the real perpetrators. The police has been criticized about their responsiveness, how promptly they responded to the crime. What do you have to say about that? Israel, I can say that our response time has improved tremendously, especially with the establishment of the 3 emergency command centers that we have at the headquarters, Kumasi and Tamale. This might be an exception that happened, but generally, if you look at the calls that we have received and the response time, there has been a tremendous improvement. We hope that in future, as we have plans to even extend some of these facilities, we'll be able to narrow that response time and respond in peak time when some of these issues happen. All right, whilst we have you on the line, we'd also want to find out from you, we've been speaking with residents of Oyibi where they tell us that they have been terrorized. They have been terrorized by armed robbers. They've had, 24 cases in the first 2 months of this year. We are also aware of that concern at Oyibi. But the figures, we are in touch with the divisional commander to actually give us the figures that they have to confirm those figures. But we are aware that there have been some level of insecurity in that area. One, because of the wide nature of the place, and we are also aware of the logistic constraint of the Oyibi police. But as I speak now, we have deployed this new Operation Calm Life vehicles there to actually assure the residents on also until the police station get their permanent vehicles. Vehicles are deployed from the regional headquarters to that area. So we have increased police presence around at Oyibi and these environs. That borders Ashaman, Duduwa, and those areas. So the vehicles, your Operation Calm Life vehicles, you're saying have been deployed at Oyibi. How many of them?
We have vehicles there, not less than one.
Not less than one, essentially more like one.
Pardon?
You're talking about like one vehicle?
I'm saying that we have deployed vehicles there, and they are not less than one. So there could be 2, 3. But we are aware of the vulnerability of that area, so vehicles have been dispatched there. Patrols also go there day and night.
All right, thank you very much. We'll leave it at this point, but we'll be dealing more with the security situation here in Accra. Adams Bonai standing by. We'll be bringing you business news next, after which we will continue the conversation about the security situation here in Accra and the robberies, which we're learning this morning. The robbery at Royal Motors. 2 suspects, we have been told, are in custody and others are being pursued. Stay tuned. Well, so the story we have been, our top story for this evening has to do with Accra witnessing one of the most daring armed robberies ever in the city in an attack on a motorcycle dealership. Now, 2 persons we know, 2 suspects we know have been arrested in that after that daylight robbery here at the Accra industrial area. We're going back to Adams Bonai, security analyst. Thank you for staying with us all this while. Mr. Bonai. Now, what we're realizing in the last few months, first of all, having to do with the Kwabenya incidents and several other incidents that have taken place around the country, and today's incident at the Royal Motorcycle, it suggests that these robbers are becoming more brazen. Is that something you agree with?
Thank you very much, and thank you for keeping me here.
Apologize.
Yes. Just like you said, I think we haven't done what is expected of us as a nation. Crime has become widespread. In the past, we had crime being confined to certain locations. But today, we have this mobile money joints everywhere. We have every corner you pass today has one, what do you call it, forest bureau or the other. And all these, places are areas where monies are, money exchange. I mean, people are either transferring money or exchanging some dollar or pound. And so definitely these guys who have access to guns are able to go to these areas and rob. And so I want to say that they've become more daring because of, the way our development is unregulated. You go to, we have incidents of robbery around the Apollonia area, Oyibi, Oyarifa, and the rest. I have visited most of this incident because of the nature of my work.
All right.
And you will be amazed the kind of roads people drive onto their homes.
Mr. Bonai, before we come to the Oyibi and far-flung areas, we're talking about this incident at Royal Motorcycles, which happened right here in the heart of the city, which is very accessible. It's not a typical one you think that they would rob. And indeed, looking at the incident that happened today, we're told of a bullion van. That bullion van would have had a policeman, an armed policeman, in the vehicle. So why couldn't he have stopped this?
Well, the police, I'm aware the police have picked up 2 suspects. But as to whether there was a policeman in the bullion van or there wasn't a policeman in the bullion van, the police, I'm aware, are currently investigating this issue. And hopefully, in probably the next 2-3 days, we would have, all of these facts coming up. But I can confidently indicate that looking at what has taken place, at the Royal Motors, it is more of an insider job where somebody tipped off and said, the bullion van is coming. I mean, I don't want to disclose all the information I have, but at least I picked up intelligence with regards to how, these guys went about robbing the facility. And more so, if you look at it, one will say our crime scene management team, it is something that we probably would have to look at. I would have wished that as the incident happened, the place would have been cordoned off so that, you know, at the end of the day, fingerprints would be lifted from objects that these people might have touched. But the most significant thing I would say, looking at this robbery, has to do with the police being able to swiftly. And I think the arrest was done 2 hours after, within 2 hours, they've been able to arrest these 2 people. I wouldn't say who they are, but at least I have information who they are, but I won't put it out there. Or else it has a tendency to destroy whatever investigation the police is doing. But I would say that some of these facilities would have to put a lot of measures in place. Their CCTV was taken away. And if you know what I mean, their CCTV was taken, and I wouldn't want to say, you know, why was it taken? But the truth is that somebody might have given information with regards to where the recorder is. The recorder of the CCTV is the nerve center of whatever is going on in terms of the CCTV. It was stolen. And so I would urge that homes and businesses should use the ghost CCTV system. The ghost CCTV system becomes invisible when it is installed. And probably if they had the ghost CCTV system, that would have helped in retrieving who were there. I mean, who are these guys? But let's hope that with the with these people who have been arrested, they will be able to get the rest of them arrested as soon as possible.
Now, the issue of the attacks on the forex bureaus, we've had like 20 attacks on forex bureaus, robberies on forex bureaus in the first 2 months of the year. That's also pretty serious.
Yes, it is pretty serious, pretty grim. But just like I said, what is Bank of Ghana doing? I mean, we are not asking Bank of Ghana any question. Bank of Ghana is supposed to regulate activities of people who lend money, activities of mobile money joint, activities of forex bureaus. Have we asked ourselves the last 10 years, how many banks, how many rural banks, how many, universal licensed banks have been robbed? You hardly get that. And the simple reason is that the requirement in issuing out these licenses is so rigorous by the Bank of Ghana. But when it comes to this, what do you call them, the forest bureaus and the mobile money joint, they are everywhere. Who is regulating them? Who is regulating them? And so, but it is also significant to note here that I have information that about 7 or so suspects have been arrested in this, the mobile money, forest bureau robberies. And some of these people indeed are foreigners. I don't want to sound xenophobic, but the truth is that we have some of the suspects are foreigners. And I'm beginning to see a particular pattern of crime where, some of this style of crime is a bit new to our environment. And so I would urge that whilst we are opening up and bringing our neighbors into Ghana or allowing them to come in, we put in enough measures.
Are you suggesting
that the police is retooled? I know.
Are you suggesting there's foreign influence? We're having some robbers who are coming from other parts of the sub-region, probably.
Yes. That is actually also fuel. That is becoming. Yes. That is. I must say that is the truth. We've had a lot of them coming in from neighboring countries. I don't want to name any country, but neighboring countries. And if you look at the style of crime, the way crimes are committed in this country, it used not to be the same way crimes were committed in this country. Now we are beginning to have that. And so, yes, we have that foreign influence, which is actually, pushing the crime wave in this country. And what do? Policing is a shared responsibility. We can only push the police officers to do what they have to do. But at the end of the day, I think that these issues didn't start today. It's been there. It's been there several years. And so it is if you look at it, it's almost like something that was waiting to explode. And so, fortunately, I would say that my own checks do indicate that the Minister of the Interior and his lieutenants, I mean, they are pushing the Minister of Finance to put in a lot of money. I know helicopters have been in the process of being procured. About 3 of them are in the process of being procured to aid crime fighting in the country. And so these are some of the things I think the current regime is doing to be able to fight crime.
All right,
but as a people,
Mr. Bona, we've
I
just
have mentioned
had this,
it severally.
Mr. Bona, we've just had this statement coming through from the police, and I'd like to share it with our viewers, after which I'll come to you for you to tell us what you suggest can be done about the situation of communities in far-flung areas that are not very well developed. Now, the police statement on recent robberies in Accra says the Ghana Police Service has taken note of public anxiety over incidents of robbery around the capital over the last 10 days. We wish to assure the public that the police is at the heels of these criminals whilst deploying men and the resources to protect lives and property. Now, we're told that 9 people have so far been arrested in connection with the Forex Bureau and money transfer robberies in Accra. In addition, 2 people are in custody in respect of the industrial area robbery that occurred at Kaneshie this morning and are assisting the police in the investigations. Discussions are ongoing with the Bank of Ghana and mobile money operators to identify better ways of enhancing security of their businesses. Patrols have also been intensified in areas identified as robbery-prone areas. And then the public has been reminded that the police emergency lines are active and any person with information can call police on 191 all networks or 18555 MTN and Vodafone. And it's signed by Director General of Public Affairs, David Klu, Assistant Commissioner of Police. And talking about the Assistant Commissioner of Police, whilst I had information from him indicating that indeed when he was talking about the far-flung areas where they're also experiencing robbery, so Yibi and the rest, he talked about the fact that not less than 1 vehicle. He's since corrected that. He says there are about 4 vehicles that have been sent to that area. Now, Adams, but I'd like to ask for us to conclude on the issue of the far-flung areas. What can be done about their situation apart from, making, more patrols, vehicles available to them?
I think what can be done has to do with vigilance. It has to do with vigilance on the part of those who, all of us. The truth is that the police cannot be everywhere as we speak. Even in Britain, in the US, Germany, it is not possible to have the police everywhere. And so what I would say is that we need to be calm. We shouldn't panic. Let's go about our duties every day. Let's not allow these hoodlums, these criminals to put us in a state of fear. I don't believe we've gotten there yet. I would urge that as a people, the police have the 1-855 number. If you think you've seen something that probably needs to be of interest to the police, you call that number, and I'm sure they would gladly investigate it and probably get these people arrested. But just like I said, before you put me on air, I knew there were about 7 people who have been arrested with regards to the Forest Bureau. And so we have an updated information that says 9. It means that within this period, 2 more people might have been arrested because that makes it 9. If you look at the statement that is coming from the police, it means that the police probably are in control of the situation. Our Ghana police is one of the best when it comes to the sub-region. But unfortunately, tooling them over the years has been questionable. And so that is where we find ourselves today. And so I would say that we need to go about our duties and report every incident. And most people put in objects in their house that are not necessary. Heavy duty, flower pot. And these are accessories that they will use in breaking down your door. We build homes.
To Adams Bona, security analyst, but